Awesome. Welcome, everyone who's coming in. I'm so excited to see so many friends joining us. Welcome, welcome. It's 1 minute till. For those of you watching the recording and the replay, I'm Hannah with Trendsi. In the other screens next to me, you can see Ryan and Sydney of Poshmark. They are going to be here chatting with us about TikTok strategies for your retail business today. So whether you're on the live or the replay, I hope that you're ready to soak it all up and learn. This is the very first Trendsi Summer School session of July. A great way to kick it off too, because we have so many questions about TikTok. I think this is such a cool topic to kind of start with for July. And I'm so excited to hear from Sydney and Ryan. So I think that it's literally, 2:00 on the dot. Ryan and Sydney, I'm going to pass it right off to you. If y'all want to give a little introduction, tell us about yourselves and dive right in. And for everyone who is on the actual Zoom here, if you have questions, feel free to funnel them into the chat. I will kind of moderate, and Sydney and Ryan, if you want to stop and answer questions as you go, that's fine. Or if you want to save them all for the end, that's fine too. Just let us know whatever's best for you and we'll roll with it. We're so excited to hear from you.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. Yeah, I can kick it off. I'm Sydney. I work at Poshmark, and I work on a lot of the different paid media channels and leverage different creatives to get customers.
All right, great. My name is Ryan. I'm Sydney's counterpart. I'm on the international team. I handle pretty much all of our mobile channels for Canada, actually. I've been in e-commerce for about 3 years now total. And yeah, so far, basically our job is, managing the social channels, trying to drive traffic to our app or our website, get conversions, kind of what we're all here trying to do at the same time. So yeah.
So cool. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Cool. Yeah, and Hannah, you can just send us questions whenever. If it is pertinent to a slide, you can ask us or save it to the end. We're really flexible with whatever. Okay, and I will go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so today we'll be talking about how people can utilize TikTok for retail, both on just like a personal brand level, and if you do kind of want to level up an account and try out some paid ads and different paid strategies, we can definitely help answer any questions and just do like a quick overview. So that's kind of the agenda today. And yeah, Ryan, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I'll get us started. Just so for those who aren't too familiar with TikTok, I'm sure there's a few that are and a few that aren't. I mean, obviously everyone has a lot of different perspectives when it comes to TikTok, right? What the user demographics look like, who's engaged with it, does it convert or not? We're kind of here to obviously highlight TikTok, and I think some of the strengths that we found internally and how we utilize as a channel to help drive conversions on our end. You can see on the left, right? So to break down, a lot of people think TikTok's going to be pretty much just young kids dancing around, kind of just killing time on their phone. Partially it is, but I think one thing that people do leave out is obviously the demographics of age is actually much more vast and varied than you would expect. And one thing that allows us to utilize is, right, getting into those different little age demographics and really find out who resonates with your products, and really trying to resonate with them and get the targeting in front of their face in an organic way that feels natural and allows them to really resonate with your brand or your product. One thing that I would think really works with TikTok that we're looking into more is obviously the user-generated content feel. It's something different that we haven't really got to experience across the other channels where, as a viewer, you're almost watching someone you think that's not, promoting a product, but they're actually highlighting something almost subconsciously or maybe, visibly, and it's really relatable. And I think from a viewer standpoint, it increases engagement. And that's something that we've seen. And on top of that, something that we like to highlight is that it actually gives you the opportunity to really stand out amongst your competitors, right? You can really figure out from a creative standpoint, who do you think it is that is trying to purchase your products, or, what is it about your products that they like, and how can you, encompass that into a single video, right? That'll most likely get them to engage with you, or at least even, build a following, right? Some support behind your products or your brands.
Yeah, so just going off of what Ryan was saying, I can go ahead and play this video because this is probably what a lot of people think TikTok is, but there is a lot more than just like dance trends. So we can just play a little bit of it. Yeah, so that's probably what people think is only on TikTok, but there is really a lot more. And Ryan, let me know when you want me to move on slides.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, these are the videos I think that always come to mind. I think when we hear TikTok out loud, or you think someone's making videos, making content for it. But there is a lot more to it, whether it's going to be organic or the paid side. One thing I think we want to highlight is obviously there is the organic side. So for those that don't want to spend money to drive traffic to their stores and whatnot, there's still a lot of opportunity there to create content that can still build brand awareness. One thing that's pretty nice is, if you build content, right, you can always have your link, your shop tied into your account, build visibility across the community and increase exposure, and actually, see who is resonating with your closet, or, whether it's going to be your Shopify account, and try and get repeat customers to, stay engaged with you and not let them fall off once they maybe convert once or convert twice, or maybe haven't converted at all. It also allows you, right, to advocate for your products, right, from a creative standpoint, and allowing your engagers to really interact with you, right, whether it's going to be from a liking standpoint, a comment standpoint, or maybe sharing. It's not always the person who sees your content that might be the one that's purchasing it. It might be their friend. So whatever way you can really get your product out there for free and really build some type of support around your brand, I think that's the key highlight. One thing that's really utilized on our end, obviously, is going to be the paid concept, and we kind of want to get into that. And what's really nice is when you're building your organic content, right, you're seeing all these demographics of, what age of your viewers are watching the longest parts of your clips, where do they live, maybe what do their personal interests look like, or how are they similar to other products, and what else they like. We really utilize that, and we try to go and repurpose that into a paid advertising perspective. For those that do run paid ads, I'm sure a lot of you are on Facebook. One thing we want to highlight is we're definitely getting a lot more exposure for cheaper on TikTok. And I think that's one of the key strengths of the channel right now. And outside of that, besides diversifying, where you're running your paid ads from, you can run with, a broad audience. Like we said, get more tailored insights of like who really resonates with your brand, and then utilize those insights to really narrow down your targeting and come up with, who you think is going to be, the deemed worthy customer, the ability to convert and really save money in terms of conversions. But that's pretty much just the overall TikTok overview from the organic and the paid side, and kind of how we have it in mix. Sorry. No worries. But yeah, so covering the organic or the overview side, yeah, we can move on to personal brand. So these are just things that how we think you should most likely utilize TikTok to really promote your brand and stand out, but as well as, be with the trends and kind of stand out amongst the crew, but also kind of be in with the times, I'd say. One thing when I was using the audio trends, so obviously it's like there's a lot of sound. TikTok's very heavy oriented based on volume of like the creative sound that's going on at the time. So that's one thing we always think you want to engage. If there's a song that's being utilized and it's getting tons of traffic, you would want to get involved with that as well, because if you utilize that song, you'll basically fall into the pool of those. And then based on your creative engagement rates, you might get more exposure than you would if you were using something that's, say, not trending at the time. So it's pretty important to, keep up to what's working. It's just going to help you overall get more exposure in the end when you're trying to display your ads or get across the ecosystem of TikTok. Looking into utilize the TikTok tools, one thing that we've seen work really well is the ability to utilize a creator, right? So we can find somebody who we think obviously is like our deemed target audience, right? And we know what that person looks like, whether it's a man or woman or whatever age it may be. We can utilize them to actually create the ad for us, right? And try and resonate the most with the viewer who thinks, like that's how I identify myself as well. I could easily see myself doing the same thing. And at the end of the day, them feeling a nice personal relationship with your brand or your product and feeling like that's, a common interest, which is increasing the likelihood of engagement as well as conversion. Getting that, we do want to talk about mimicking current trends. So mimicking current trends is definitely important, because obviously if you want to be able to keep in touch with, what is working for that additional exposure, But we also think it's important to make your own trends. I think that's one of the leverageable points with TikTok. You can obviously try and piggyback on what's working, and that's a great way to increase your exposure. But TikTok really allows you to be a trendsetter as well, which is pretty unique. Most other channels don't really offer this, where you can really stand out too much and gain exposure. But TikTok seems to have like a new trend revolving on a weekly basis. So it allows you to really express your creativity and really send a message that resonates with your target audience. That's kind of different from alternative channels or different communication outreach programs, I'd say. Okay. And then we did have some creative examples. These are just things that we use internally at Poshmark, how we kind of grasp some of those aspects within the TikTok creative. And go ahead and basically, we can go through these videos, just explain, we'll start with trending videos, the audio, and we'll just go through these and kind of capture how they're working.
Styling clothes I'm selling on Poshmark. Poshmark is a leading marketplace for new and secondhand clothes. Perfect to sell and buy in a safe way. Can't forget about staple pieces such as mini skirts. A graphic tee and jeans never go wrong.
Right. So just to summarize that video, so you could tell, obviously, as a Poshmark employee, obviously, these are what our target demographics look like in terms of those who convert the most. What we did for this one is obviously we're using a trending audio sound, right? And that's going to be based on, what the volume of videos that are going out that are utilizing this song, as well as, what the engagement looks like on this song. And when you're in the TikTok UI, you can actually go through all their trending songs and they'll show you what's performing the best and getting interacted with the most, as well as utilized. So this is one example of how we've tried to utilize that, basically just in the background of one of our creative videos. We can go to the next video, which is going to be more so the screen grab. So yeah, go ahead, Sydney.
Insane new items on my Poshmark that I want to show you. I wish these fit me. They're men's Gucci. I need this little Dapper Dan label. Like, someone please go get them. The little details in the labels, they kill me. They're just the perfect little straight leg denim you need. Men's size 34. Next, this shimmery Free People top. It's so fun with the little lace detailing on the bottom. Emerald green velvet blazer with these gold details. Isn't that so cute? Nike Air Jordan hoodie, this like white staple piece. This little tan mini dress, it cinches the waist right there. It looks super snatched. You can shop all these items and more in my Poshmark closet. Poshmark makes it so easy to make offers and shop sustainably from your phone, so go download.
Yeah, so for this one, you could tell, obviously, the messaging is very similar, right? Like, we're still portraying, why you should utilize Poshmark, what you're going to get out of it, the strengths of that, except we removed the creative video, and instead we went with the green screen effect, which is something that was trending at the time when we were using this creative. And you can find this just through your own personal research. You just see, what are people using, what's getting engagement. For the circumstance, we want to run both. So we'll constantly be trying to keep up with times and replicate what's working. And just to highlight, these are all going to be examples of us probably following the current trends going on. I'm not sure, we might have an example of one where we tried, step out of the box, but we can move on to the next one for now, which is going to be narrated voicing.
Download the Poshmark app to shop my closet for spring. Poshmark is the perfect place to buy clothes at good prices and sell your closet. All items shown in the video are available on Poshmark for you to shop.
Yeah, same concept here. I mean, I think I use TikTok myself, and honestly, the narrative voices, I don't know, I never thought they'd be popular, but they seem to convert really well, which is kind of ironic. So yeah, just another example of, using one of the tools within TikTok that is converting well and is very popular in the industry. And then we have our last one that's going to highlight more so, I guess, like user generated content feel, which we think is actually the one that results in the best performance. And it's the one that like really aligns with the viewer the most. So go ahead, Cindy, you can play that.
Hi guys, so I'm going to be selling some of my clothes on Poshmark. My dorm only has so much space in it and everything is already on triple hangers and falling out of all my drawers. So I thought that I would give my clothes a second life through selling on Poshmark. I'll have the link in my bio of my shop, and you can now download Poshmark in the US, Canada, Australia, and India. And here are just a few of the different pieces that I'll be selling. A lot of the pants just don't fit me anymore. So you guys can definitely go shop my Poshmark from the link in my bio. And here are just a few of the other pieces that I'll be selling.
Great. So one thing to highlight here is we utilize a lot of our video creatives to encourage people to list on Poshmark. So with this video, it's very aligned with, it's like there's so many circumstances, right, where you might be in the same situation, right? You have a closet full of clothes, you're looking to make some money out of it ideally. This is how, someone who's maybe relatable to you is going about doing so. It can easily be converted to the same thing as the purchasing side, right? You can shift the messaging so many ways or make variations of the creative to really resonate with what you're looking for out of the viewer itself. And I think that's just one of the key leveraging points. But this is basically how we try and highlight the personal experience and something that's kind of almost an organic feel, which we think works the best from our perspective.
I have two.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up the.
It's all right.
Yeah,
I have
we can open
two
questions after
comments
this
here
question.
that would really apply to our users. So right before you played that second video, Casey asks in the comments here, you know, can I sell on TikTok if I don't have physical inventory? So one, so cool, the green screen, like that someone was just talking about their products and basically showing their stock photos. And then the third one, we actually have a lot of people who say they're nervous to have their face show right on a video. That fourth video didn't even show her face. She just kind of narrated and talked about what she was doing with like short little video clips of her offerings. That's a really cool concept for people who don't want to have their face showing, or like Casey said, if she doesn't have all her inventory on hand since we're drop shipping. Super cool.
Yeah,
No,
definitely. Yeah, I'd be the same way. I don't like being on camera as much myself, but I would definitely utilize the narrative voice. And something that we see that does work is like quick cuts between the videos and the clips. Something that really engages the user's eye and keeps them attracted to the video. I think that's the key I'd want to highlight. Is it doesn't necessarily matter who's in the video or what sound or what voice is actually saying it. It's more so just keeping the eye engaged the most. So as long as you can really focus on that and keep the user engaged, I think you're going to have the best conversion value.
Yeah, definitely. And just going off of that, Hannah, you mentioned that when you have your boutique, you only buy samples. So even with the first video, you can definitely utilize your samples and do different transition videos and things like that. So even if you don't have the full inventory, you can still kind of use TikTok to showcase, you know, what the styles look like on a real person without, you know, having a bunch of inventory on hand. Yeah, we can go ahead and move on. Let's see.
Styling clothes I'm selling on Poshmark.
Sorry, guys.
For new and secondhand clothes.
I do not know why this is not. Okay, here it is. Cool.
I feel like video never wants to cooperate. When you have video clips inside of a presentation, it always does something funky. You're fine.
Too funny. Thank you. So yeah, just looking at the different TikTok analytics and things like that, these are going to be like your best friends. So definitely utilize TikTok's data or any data that any platform would provide you. So these are some analytics that were pulled from 2 different videos, and a lot of them are like outward facing. So people can already see like how many comments you have and like how many plays something has and how many shares. And definitely look at it. It's not just there for show. Like you can definitely see from these video analytics that there's clearly one winner, and like so from there, like keep iterating and keep making content, and keep continuing to test new trends and audios and transitions, because it'll definitely show in the data like what you should be doing, and to not take anything personally. Like I know that some people can spend, you know, 2 hours making a video and, you know, maybe 10 minutes making another one, and one just happens to be prioritized in the algorithm and one doesn't. So just don't take it personally. Just really focus on the data and keep iterating based off of like what the data tells you to do. Okay. And while in tandem, if you do want to focus on an organic presence and on a paid presence, you can really figure out like, are paid ads on TikTok right for you? So, you know, like one thing you can do is you can like put money behind different videos that you've put on. Like if you can see that has good organic traction, you can definitely put some paid spend behind that. But in order to do that, you would have to change your account to a business account. And as you can see, switching your account to a business account, there are a lot of different things you will get. So you will be able to display your email directly on your TikTok profile. You will be able to access more detailed metrics. You will be able to have a direct link. You can schedule posts. You can go live. However, you will lose like some things. So monetization, you won't be able to make money from getting views or engagement on the TikTok platform. I feel like that's really only an issue if somebody is like, a mega TikTok star. And also like music will be a little bit more limited. So you won't be able to put a lot of paid spend behind commercial music. You will only be able to pick from the music library, but there is a lot of stuff you can choose from, like in the commercial music library. So yeah, that is what you would get from a business account. And these are a couple of campaign types that might work for somebody who really is just starting out on getting some paid ads going. So community interaction and video views. So there are a couple of different goals within the community interaction methods. So you would get people to visit your TikTok profile or to follow your page. So the more followers you would get, the more people who will be able to like see your content on a regular basis. So, if you do want people who will look at all of your videos and, be tuned into different like seasonal things or different sales and things like that, like getting more followers might not be a bad thing. And if you have, just like a video that is kind of showcasing your boutique or things like that, getting views might not be a bad thing for your video content as well. So it'll essentially just get you more traffic to your TikTok page. And so, like as you post more about your brand and really showcase your brand and your offerings, it'll have a lot more of an audience. And, for a budget, you can test whatever you're comfortable with. Maybe it's like $50 a day. Maybe it's $100 a day. Maybe you just want to see what happens for a week and then see if you get more followers. So, you can make a test and then you can like do a little readout after and see like, okay, well, how many new followers did I get? Are these followers engaging with my content or are they just kind of abandoning the account? So, you just need to see for yourself like what the results are. And if you're happy with it, keep testing, keep iterating. And also if you do switch into a business account, you can always switch out of it. So it's not like a forever thing or anything like that. And so, yeah, that's kind of just our overview about TikTok in general. And this is where we can answer any questions.
This is also great and definitely at a higher level view of TikTok, kind of for if you're just beginning. I'd love to see if anyone has specific questions in the chat. You can chat them out in the chat. Casey, am I saying your name right? Is it Casey or Cassie? Now that I've said Casey or Cassie, you'll never know which one is the right one because you'll just respond yes. Sorry.
It's Cassie.
Cassie, perfect. Thank you. Cassie mentioned her business account got deleted. Do we have a suggestion on who to contact? Oh, that's sad, Cassie.
Oh no.
Yes. I just went to like log into it one day and it just said that it was gone and I don't know what to do or how to get it back.
Oh no, I have never heard of that happening before. I would probably personally reach out to TikTok support if that is something you can get to. Maybe making a new account even and then reaching out to somebody, but I actually don't know the right answer. I'm just sorry. I'm just
That's okay.
saying
I'll just try making a new one. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I like seeing Coffee with Crystal. Pivot that camera so we can see all your employees. I love it. Let's see. I thought it was interesting on the demographic slide that 70% of the users are over age 20. I think that maybe we assume it's such a younger audience. That's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Carla, yeah, we'll have everything recorded and the slides for you as well afterwards. If you've RSVP'd for the event, you'll get all of that in your email. Let's see in the chat. Why don't you guys tell us in the chat, how many of you actually have a TikTok account that you are using meaning you've posted at least one video. You don't just scroll on TikTok. Tell us in the comments if you have a TikTok account and if you've posted at least one video to TikTok so we can have an idea for Ryan and Sydney. Yes, you use it daily. Awesome. So it does look like we have at least one. Okay. So if someone is newer, Ryan, Sydney, if we have people who have posted a few times, but they haven't really dipped their toe in the water, um, what would be a good strategy like for beginners or for just, kind of getting rolling? Um, would you just direct like YouTube and Google are your friend, find out the best times to post, or is it going to be like too much like to be copying trend, like to when you scroll and you see a video with 20 million views, right? Are those the videos to try and copy that trend, or are you looking for trends that are just emerging with lower views? What is your advice on something like that?
I think you should, switch it up. So there will be like kind of a trending sign and, like, so you can hop on that and you can also mimic a really big trend as well, or really popular audio. I would say to start out like a lot simpler if you are just, starting out on TikTok. So for example, if you don't want to learn how to do like transitions yet or anything like that, I would start with a slideshow, with like a trending audio, because then you don't really have to show your face or anything like that. And like, if you do want to dabble into the waters of actually creating content for TikTok, like, I would definitely just look up like TikTok, transitions, tutorials and things like that. And yeah, YouTube will definitely be your friend. And you can just start out with a very simple transition, like maybe transitioning in and out of like maybe 2 or 3 outfits. And so just like really feel it out and see what kind of like catches the attention of the algorithm. And so this is your personal brand, right? So eventually you're probably going to start planning out content and things like that. And so I would just say like start simple, start easy with maybe like slideshows, or just like maybe spanning inventory in a closet. And I would definitely engage your audience, like ask them what they would like to see, ask them like what items they liked. And yeah, so I think that, you can start wherever you're comfortable.
I like that. And maybe following accounts that are doing a similar thing to what you're doing, right? And kind of being
Absolutely.
inspired by them. Finding those, maybe if you're a boutique owner, e-commerce, whatever, finding those accounts that look like they're doing really well on TikTok that are in your same field and follow and find some inspiration. That's definitely a great spot to start, I would assume.
Yeah.
Coffee with Crystal, we post, but we haven't hit more than 300 views yet. That's pretty good. That's probably more than my own TikTok.
Yeah,
Crystal.
I mean, 300 views is a really great place to start. If you do like want to get visibility behind a specific video, like that's where maybe you would want to utilize like a little bit of paid spend to kind of amplify it. But yeah, I think the TikTok algorithm is really weird. Like I think one day you're gonna wake up and there's gonna be like 50,000 views on something. So you just really don't know. It's so unpredictable.
Do you feel that there's any value to, I know a lot of the audience, I see a lot of the names on here who are real active in our community. A lot of this demographic is really great at the kind of raw, unfiltered, like the live option on Facebook, right? So Sydney and Ryan, what do you think? I know TikTok is very curated. People practice and like, they're in sync, like dancing or like with a script or a trending audio. Do you think there's any benefit to the ability to just go the raw, real, like live aspect, leveraging that part of TikTok?
Yeah, definitely. I can answer this 20 questions to me. Yeah, I think something that we've noticed off that is, there's so many production companies that, it's how you buy our creatives, you spend tons of money and they're all super scripted. And at the end of the day, it seems that users really resonate with somebody they can, align with, or at least that they're more comfortable with feeling from an organic perspective. So we have seen that. We call it user generated content. I think it's pretty common, but yeah, it's where we try and, replicate essentially who your target audience is and their experience and maybe provide them a solution. That seems to be working the best. It seems to resonate really well with viewers and have a higher engagement rate than something that comes off as kind of like a clickbait or an ad. Even when you do run as an ad, we try and replicate that very organic feeling and try and, make sure that messaging doesn't come off as too much of a lead gen.
That's cool. Good advice. Let's see, Jean Tell. She says, Oh yeah, she had 100,000 views and woke up to 10,000 followers. Very cool.
Yeah.
You just have to keep making content.
Yeah.
It's gonna hit.
All right. What about this was a question someone asked me before. If you have content that performs really poorly, do you advise to go back and delete it and clean it out? Or is it better to just have your page full of content?
Mm.
I think that's up to, you, if I, whatever you define as poorly, like if you look back and you're like, oh, that doesn't align with my personal brand, then okay, yeah, I think you can delete it. But, if like, it just doesn't get that many views, you really could wake up in a year and it might have a bunch of views. So I would say I would personally keep it unless it doesn't align with your personal brand anymore. I don't know, Ryan, if you have a different thought on that.
No, I would say very similar. I mean, having low engagement videos on your profile is not going to affect your outreach performance or anything regarding the algorithm. I think at the end of the day, maybe if you do become have a more established account, you might want to circle back and see, does this messaging, like Sydney said, still resonate with what I'm going with, or maybe the theme. Usually what people do is, right, they'll keep trial and error, different approaches, different messages, different themes until something really resonates, and then that's it. Like all of a sudden that becomes their bread and butter, and they replicate that with like a small variation. But like once they figure out what works, they usually try and replicate that as much as possible because they've tapped into like a little aspect of the algorithm that resonates with their account. And so once I think you figured that out, maybe then you want to go back and like, okay, there's no purpose of having these, and then clean it up from there, I'd say.
I love that. Thank you for telling me how to pronounce your name, Jontel. I've been saying it wrong for 3 months, and I love that you told me how to fix it. Thank you so much. I'm the person that wants you to tell me if I have something in my teeth. So if I say your name wrong, or in my teeth, so please tell me if I say your name wrong. Thank you for correcting me. I really appreciate it. Ashley wants to know if it's bad to repost TikToks, like if it didn't perform real high the first time, to tweak it and then repost it. Does it matter about when you post it, what time, trying again?
I think if you keep using similar aspects over and over, that's fine. I know some creators who use some of the same audio for a lot of their videos, and then they'll just change some sort of aspect, whether it's like the messaging or it's a different story or like something like that. But yeah, like those people who post like what they eat in a day and things like that, some people, they like literally play the same audio, or it'll just be like a similar type of dance but a different audio. I don't think it's bad to post very similar content and tweak it and see what sticks, because at the end of the day, it's your personal account and it's your personal brand, so you should feel empowered to do whatever you want with it.
That's cool. Who else has questions? We have a couple more minutes if anyone has any questions about TikTok, beginner strategies, or for those of you who have been going for a little while, if you have any questions a little more high level. While we have Ryan and Sydney here, I'm excited to kind of tap into their brains and their experience. And while we're waiting for questions, I'd love to hear in your experience at Poshmark. So obviously at Poshmark, people are, selling items from their closet or even holding inventory. It seems like a lot of them. We actually have quite a few Trendsi users who sell Trendsi on Poshmark now. What kind of success have you seen from those kind of users? They are appealing to their audience on a more of a casual level. It seems, that it looks like I'm selling from my closet, even if they hold inventory. Do you feel like using that same approach could also benefit someone who's, kind of a mompreneur, selling from home, having their home boutique, holding inventory?
Yeah, I would say on Poshmark, it's really great just because I think a lot of you are familiar with social selling, and that's what Poshmark is. So on Poshmark, there is also video content. There are like Posh stories, and you can also amplify your brand on and off Poshmark. So, we do have a lot of Poshmark sellers who amplify their brand on Instagram and TikTok and things like that. And it is definitely a lot more casual just because like it is so personal about your own personal inventory, your own personal closet. So on these social channels, people want to see the same. They want to see like your day-to-day life. Like there are so many people on Poshmark who are really into like empowering other sellers and other community members. And so, you'll see on TikTok, for example, there'll be like shipping tutorials or things like that. Or, maybe all y'all who are on Trendsi and also on Poshmark, like you can educate your fellow poshers about, a different method of getting inventory to different people. So it's all about helping people and really about the community. And in turn, like the content that is created is a lot more like casual, which is what we really love. Yeah, Ryan, do you have anything to add on that?
No, I think TikTok's pretty interesting in the sense that there's different audience pools across the entire environment, right? Like you just have to figure out, I guess, where the content you're trying to make fits in. And I think once that's solved, the rest is just scalable from there. It's just getting the right content in front of the right viewer, and then from then the algorithm will take care of it. So a lot of it's trial and error. And that's, I guess, the hardest part of it. But once it gets up and going, you look back and you're like, yeah, it was all worth it.
That's cool. I see Ivy has a question about the live selling. Have you tried the live selling tool from TikTok? If you have, do you suggest having models or doing it yourself?
Yeah, we are utilizing the live selling tool on TikTok. I would say, again, it really depends on your personal brand. We wouldn't want to tell anyone to do anything specific except
Tu peux même t'allonger sur le ventre.
But yeah, so, if you do have models available, I would say test it, but then also test out not using models. So I would say like try to utilize every way to, utilize any platform that you can. I wouldn't want anyone just to try to look at a playbook and not be open to anything else.
How about Coffee with Crystal? I'll come right back to your question. I don't want anyone above you to think that we skipped them. Michelle's question is any advice on setting up the account, what info to include or not include? And then Amanda asked, no, this is not a Facebook Instagram training, but we will have a Facebook Instagram training. So we'll come back to that. But let's see what Ryan and Sydney think about when you're setting your account up, what's best to include.
I think just like having a nice catchy a name would be one thing. And I think it's like less about the setup, but the content that you start posting. So like I said, if you're starting from scratch, I would personally start easier, like with slideshows or just like panning like products and things like that. And then try to like work up to like getting into trends and things like that, like the different clothing transitions or narrations or whatever you'd want to do. So less about the setup and more about how do you start posting, getting the content out there.
I love that. Crystal's asking, how do you find trending hashtags, and is a mix of hashtags best?
I would say it's like a mix of like audios and hashtags and things like that. If you want to save some time, I would recommend you download one of those apps that kind of tell you like what is trending, or you just kind of have to spend time just kind of going through and like seeing what is getting a lot of views and things like that. And you can also click on like the audio and you can see like how many other videos are being made and like what types of views those are getting. So if you want to save some time, I would get an app. There are many out there, or you can like spend some time organically on the app yourself. I don't know, Ryan, do you have any input on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think the hashtags, you'll definitely want to hashtags that I think are affiliated with your brand. That's gonna be the one that I'd start there, definitely. And then when it comes to looking at the hashtags that are more viral, I wouldn't stray too far trying any of the areas that aren't aligned, because I think you might just fall into the pool there, and then it always looks kind of bad if you have a bunch of hashtags spammed. I think that's something that people try and avoid, and it looks kind of off. It kind of circles back to that user generated content where you don't want it to look off spammy, right? Like you do want this to feel like an organic approach of a relation that you're building with the viewer. So if you could avoid doing too many, I would definitely recommend that. I think you'd probably want to find out maybe which ones resemble best with your viewers. I think you can usually see maybe how much visibility you get between hashtags if you do some research online. That might be your best bet. In the UI, there's a lot of reporting tools for those that are familiar with it. You can go through the reporting. They have a lot of granular breakdowns of what's working well, honestly, across your ads and what's not, and then also research tools of what is working in the industry.
Crystal said she didn't even know there was an app for that, which this is a great question because Crystal, I think I've heard of this and I've actually never used one either. Do you have any recommendations for an app that kind of surfaces those trending? Is it just for hashtags? Is it for songs? Is it everything?
I would say look at the audio ones, because basically for hashtags, like Ryan is right, you should really focus on, the hashtags that resonate with your brand, but audio or different audios that can be translated to basically any topic. So yeah, there are trending audio and hashtag apps, and then there are some that focus on kind of like all of it. I don't want to give like any specific apps. Like I would say like go Google some and then try out what's best for you personally. Because if I give you an app and you like another one better, then that's on me. So I would just say like do a little bit of research and maybe try out 2 or 3. And just, and then make a TikTok and tell us how you liked them.
This is a great, go ahead, Red.
Oh, no, I was just to echo what Sydney's saying. I mean, I think one of the key things is, right, make the content and look at who's engaging with it. How are they finding you, what they look like? And then essentially you'll figure out, who is resembling with the product. And that's how you're going to want to tailor your creatives or whatever means your hashtags, what sounds you're using. At the end of the day, you want to get in front of the right person. I mean, there's millions of people on the app, right? You could easily be misdirecting your creatives, but if you can figure out really who's resembling, that's going to be the key to success.
This is actually probably a really great community thread. We should start Coffee with Crystal. Let's let everyone can share their recommendations in the community on the TikTok apps. That's a good idea. Very cool. Anyone else before we close it out? We'll go about 2 or 3 more minutes if anyone has any questions. And if not, we can totally close it out. No problem. Oh, Michelle wants to know, should she use her store name? Do we name the account our store name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be great. If the purpose of the account is mostly to get visibility for your store, I think that's a great option. I do know people who have their own personal accounts and it's more of a lifestyle TikTok, but then they also bring visibility to their store. So it's definitely completely up to you what you would want to name your account.
Seems like you would also want to have, kind of define for yourself what your objectives are, right? If your objective is sales and only sales, then, you might strategize to set things up a little differently. If it's for exposure or brand recognition, if you're trying to really scale and you want that brand recognition, that could be kind of a second objective too. So it seems like you might set up a little differently based on what you're trying to accomplish. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, well, thank you so much, Sydney and Ryan. And then thank you to all of our community members who hopped on and joined us. I hope this was helpful. We will share all of our recordings. If you've RSVP'd for the sessions, which if you're here, you'll get all the recording access in your emails as well. And if you have questions later, you can definitely share into the community and we can help each other. We definitely have a lot of TikTok experts in the community as well. But we appreciate it. Everyone have a beautiful Friday. Happy holiday weekend.
Oh wait, I have my pants on button. I didn't realize it was a live. I thought you were watching a video.
Ask your question, Crystal. I love it.
I said, come say hi to Hannah. Hi. I thought she was watching a video. I came out of the bathroom with my pants unbuttoned.
Oh, we're so happy to see your faces.
It's okay.
Thanks for turning your camera on and saying hi. It's so great. I love it. So good. Awesome. Any other questions? Did you have a question or were you just saying hi?
I was just saying hi.
I like it. All right.
Hi.
Thank you guys. Have a good weekend. We'll see you later.
You too.